keep a copy of the syllabus right in front of your workstation, that wherever you read newspaper, you can relate that with the syllabus. It is not required to memorize the syllabus, but yes, over the period of time you will be better acquainted with the same. Prelims and main stage of the examination. In prelims, UPSC has not given syllabus in a very comprehensive way. They have just written current issues of national and international importance. Then you write Indian Constitution, Panchayati Raj, rights issue, etc. So they have not given a very detailed syllabus. For 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month, you became familiar with the entire colony. You never took an extra effort that from today I will memorize all the lanes and nook and corners of the colony. Gradually you became familiar. Same thing you have to do with the syllabus. Only after you have done your NCERT, and they are pure magic. I am not asking you to go through those boxes where they say come Chintu, let's play, all those things. Avoid them, but you have to go through the NCERT. These are NCERTs are those textbooks where some of you may read and you think that you know. Believe me, you don't know, and UPSC loves to trap the students at a place where you are most comfortable. There is no shortcut. Okay, so for example, newspapers are rich in multifaceted ways. So undoubtedly factual information is necessary, but believe me, in last 3 years, UPSC has clearly exhibited its intent. It is not going to ask questions which are direct in nature. 2 or 3 things that have to be understood, which I am sure must have been communicated to you by this time. One important thing is that you must be what you call having great level of patience. When you will have that academic maturity, then you will very clearly carve out that this particular incident is merely a piece of news which is not important, but the issue arising out of it is important from the GS perspective.
Overwhelmed by the vast UPSC syllabus, it's time to transform that stress into strategy with our all-in-one GS Foundation course. Break down every subject from prelims and mains to CSAT and essay, and demystify current affairs through PT 365 and Mains 365. At Vision IAS Delhi, we are more than just educators. We are your mentors on the path to success. Here's how we empower your UPSC journey. Complete syllabus mastery. Get a step-by-step roadmap covering every topic you need to conquer the exam. Simplified current affairs. Stay ahead with sessions that turn complex news into clear, actionable insights. Tailored mentorship. Enjoy personalized one-on-one guidance to sharpen your strengths and overcome your challenges. Continuous progress tracking. Regular tests and detailed feedback ensure you are always moving forward. Your dream of joining the civil services is within reach. With our expert faculty and proven strategies, every lecture, every discussion, and every practice test is designed to build your confidence and competence. Batches starting from 4th March at 2 p.m., 25th Feb at 5 p.m. and 21st Feb at 11 a.m. at Karol Bagh, and 25th Feb at 6 p.m. at GTB Nagar. To know more, visit our website or call us on the given numbers.
classes offer convenience, but serious aspirants know that UPSC success demands structure, focus, and personal support, found only in physical classrooms. Classroom learning enables real-time interaction, ensuring no question goes unanswered. This immediate feedback fosters a deeper understanding and builds confidence. After-class interactions with faculty turns doubts into discussions and guidance into growth. These personal moments are the stepping stones to your UPSC success. Peer discussions in classrooms foster collaboration, critical thinking, and camaraderie, qualities essential for UPSC success. Classroom tests mirrors the intensity of the UPSC exam with real-time supervision and in-depth evaluations. Every test becomes a learning experience. Mock interviews in classrooms recreate the pressure of UPSC interviews. With constructive feedback, aspirants refine their responses and build confidence for the real test. A structured environment keeps you disciplined and focused. With fixed schedules and personal accountability, classrooms ensure you stay on track. Faculty members regularly interact with their peers, ensuring students get diverse perspectives on complex subjects. This enriches the learning process and keeps the curriculum dynamic and relevant. Classrooms don't just teach, they inspire. Step into the world with confidence and turn dreams into milestones.
Good afternoon, all of you. Okay, so I hope you all are doing good. Okay, I am sure you have already been exposed to a lot of what you call strategies and the whatever is best possible and prudent way to prepare. Okay, so I'll try to make this productive in a very short and crisp manner so that you already have had a very comprehensive session. Okay, so predominantly I take Indian polity. Okay. So over the, of course, there are many subjects and polity happens to be an important one, and also because all the subjects are important. As a civil servant, because you will be involved in polity and deeply involved in governance, social justice, so undoubtedly this subject remains important. And another thing is that it has an interdisciplinary approach also. For example, if you're talking about any bill related to biotechnology, or any bill related to dam safety, so or any bill related to for example budget is something which has purely an interdisciplinary approach. Budget is part of economics also, and we teach today morning also. I was taking us what you call batch in which we were discussing about budget, so it has polity as well as economy, similarly finance commission. So undoubtedly polity is one of the most important subjects. Others are also important, but yes. Now the next important thing is, dear students, that okay, so please understand that as you have already been communicated about the relevance of syllabus and all, I'm very sure about the same. Okay, still I'll very briefly venture into it and just try to make this session a more productive one. First of all, if you see GS paper 2, GS paper 2, which is overall paper 3, but it is GS paper 2. In GS paper 2 or overall paper 3, you have 4 aspects. Okay. First is polity, second is governance, third is social justice and international relations. So syllabus has been entire syllabus. I'm sure you know that the exam is in 3 stage: prelims, interview, prelims, mains and interview. Interview is also personality test. Predominantly they don't test your understanding, your memorizing facts and all, they check your personality. But yes, prelims and main stage of the examination. In prelims, UPSC has not given syllabus in a very comprehensive way. They have just written current issues of national and international importance. Then you write Indian Constitution, Panchayati Raj, rights issue, etc. So they have not given a very detailed syllabus. On the basis of our experience, we try to summarize that, okay, this is the bracket within which UPSC asks the questions. Otherwise, in the prelims, syllabus is not very comprehensively elaborated. So over the period of time, with experience and whatever, maybe 70, 80,000, whatever number of student, 50,000 we have taught, we try to summarize, and this is what is conventionally done. Mains UPSC has been very benign, very forthcoming, very comprehensive syllabus has been detailed out, and every alphabet, every word that is mentioned in the syllabus is of extreme academic significance. Okay, whoever frames the question paper, he has a copy of syllabus right before his desk, and he tries to incorporate almost the entire, what you call, cover the syllabus broadly, and key terms mentioned in the syllabus are of extreme importance. So it is conventionally said, and it is wise also, that you go through the syllabus very comprehensively. I always say in the class that you keep a copy of the syllabus right in front of your workstation, that wherever you read newspaper, you can relate that with the syllabus. It is not required to memorize the syllabus, but yes, over the period of time you will be better acquainted with the same. For example, you visit a place, first time you are new to the place. After a while, you know each and every corner of your college. So you must be familiar with the syllabus. That is something which is of paramount importance. Second thing is that syllabus has not been drafted in an unscientific manner. It has been drafted in a very scientific manner. For example, just understand, one of the biggest thing that affects history is geography. Many of the conquests happened or things happened because of geography. Imagine if India was situated in Pacific Ocean, then the history would have been entirely different. If India, so 100% history is influenced by geography. So that is why history and geography, they have been placed in paper 1. In paper 2, for example, you have polity, yani entire political system, in the constitutional bodies, statutory bodies, working of the government, rights, duties, and all such related aspects. And also, what is governance? Okay, so for example, government is set of people who have the authority to govern. So government, and what they do, more of a verb, what they do, social, political, economic, cultural, you have financial, all such decisions taken by government is governance. So governance is more of a verb. So what the government does, it performs governance. Undoubtedly, the principal mandate of the government is to maintain the sovereignty and integrity of the country. That is the first job of the government. After that, of course, they will uphold public rule of law and what you call the public order. Then you have welfareism. Welfareism is the part of basic structure also, Supreme Court has ruled. But first thing, or the principal mandate of the government is to maintain the sovereignty and integrity of the country and maintain public order. So governance, as a civil servant, you will be deeply involved in governance, and what the political system promotes governance. What they do is governance. So both of them have been placed in one paper. And after maintaining the sovereignty and integrity of India and ensuring public order, then of course welfareism, so social justice. Many of you would be joining Indian Administrative Service. So you will be deeply involved in social justice. So governance, a large part of governance is devoted in promoting social justice. Just imagine, society, they have placed in GS paper 1, but social justice they have placed in GS paper 2. Why? Because society is a direct product of history. For example, issues related to women, for example, issues related to caste-based discrimination, all such inequalities. So society has a direct relationship with history, so society has been placed in paper 1. But as a civil servant, you will implement policies and programs, you will promote social justice. So social justice has been placed in GS paper 2, or overall it is paper 3. Next, you have international relations. This suits well in GS paper 2, so it has been placed under GS paper 2. So GS paper 2 predominantly includes polity, governance, social justice, and international relations. Similarly, all the entire syllabus has been so framed that topics which are interrelated have been placed under one paper. But it is absolutely naive and novice to say that what you call there is no interdisciplinary element. For example, the provisions related to budget are there in the Constitution, Article 112, Annual Financial Statement, or Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business of Lok Sabha, Rule 204, Budget. So provisions related to budget we teach in polity also, but it is also part of GS paper 3, that is economics. For example, you have few topics of polity like historical underpinnings, what happened before the advent of the Constitution. You have Charter Act and Government of India Act and so many reforms and all, and those are part of modern history also, those are a part of polity. So there is an interdisciplinary approach. So few basic things which I always highlight, that every serious student will first go through the syllabus. I am again reiterating, no need to memorize the syllabus. I'll give you a reason. For example, you went to a college or you shifted to Delhi. In your locality or in your colony, You didn't first day you reached and you did not made it a point that from today I will memorize all the shops of the colony and all the names. No. Gradually you stayed there for 1 month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month. You became familiar with the entire colony. You never took an extra effort that from today I will memorize all the lanes and nook and corners of the colony. Gradually you became familiar. Same thing you have to do with the syllabus. You don't need to memorize the syllabus. Gradually you will go through the syllabus. Wherever you study, paste at the workstation, you go through the syllabus. As you read the news, the moment you read a term like ethics or integrity or aptitude or what you call parliament or judiciary, immediately you will think, oh, this is in paper 2. So you must be familiar with the syllabus. You must understand the syllabus, and that will take time. There is no need to memorize. But over the period of time, while reading newspaper, immediately you will be able to craft what you call carve it out that, okay, this particular topic is related to that thing in the syllabus. So undoubtedly syllabus is of paramount importance, that is of extreme significance. Every serious candidate will have a copy of syllabus right at its what you call desk where he studies. You may have it in a portable document format, PDF format. You will paste at the workstation where you study. And NCERT textbooks, that these very brief things I will not venture much into because you have already been familiarized. NCERT textbooks are pure, what you call, they are pure examples of academic excellence. They are what you call, they are living testimony to the, what you call, to the basic understanding of all the topics. Okay. So for example, I often see in the class when I talk about judiciary or I talk about topics, students are more interested in having discussion and debate. You are definitely, the academic liberty to have discussion and debate is necessary, but at the same time you must have your basics clear. I have this very, very strong inclination and strong opinion that you must, the academic liberty to go into deeper aspect or delve into deeper aspect is there. First you have an understanding. For example, any naive person these days knows that there are some issues sometimes which appear in newspaper related to appointment of judges. That there is a collegium system, and that often is in news. A person who is selling goods at Old Rajendra Nagar, or sometimes who is also knows, a person who sells pan also knows that there is some collegium system and judges are appointed. But first you should know Article 124, what is the qualification to become the judge of Supreme Court. Article 217, the qualification to become judge of High Court. Then first basic facts should be clear. Then only you can build your citadel or your what you call your every such building on that. The edifice of a building has to be on the foundational blocks. Okay. So the fort cannot, the palace can only be built on a strong foundation. NCERT is of extreme significance. We do not have time, else I would say how UPSC is in pure love with NCERT. Whenever they will frame the question paper, they will pick class 11th NCERT book, political theory, and they will what you call frame a very basic question. What do you mean by liberty? What do you mean by equality? What do you mean by fraternity? What is secularism? Basic terms which are given in NCERT, and they trap. They have even gone to the extent of asking a question, what is the length and breadth of the country from the western and to the eastern side? And this question was mentioned in class 11th NCERT geography. So whatever books or newspaper or academic literature or richness of your debate can be, I do not disagree with the same, only after you have done your NCERT, and they are pure magic. I am not asking you to go through those boxes where they say come Chintu, let's play, all those things, avoid them, but you have to go through the NCERT. These are NCERTs are those textbooks where some of you may read and you think that you know. Believe me, you don't know, and UPSC loves to trap the students at a place where you are most comfortable. So very strongly I will recommend, whatever you do, first you complete NCERTs, at least 4 NCERTs. So Democratic Politics Part 1, Democratic Politics Part 2, Indian Constitution at Work, and class 11th Political Theory. Among them also 2 NCERTs are of paramount significance. One is Indian Constitution at Work and Political Theory. Especially UPSC in last 10 years, they have been consistently asking questions from political theory, where basic terminologies like liberty, equality, fraternity, secularism, the idea of a state, what is constitutionalism, what is constitutional morality, what is a written constitution, what is unwritten constitution, all these things are deeply embedded into this political theory. Okay. Next important thing is newspaper. Okay, newspaper. So as I just understand that newspaper is, first of all, no current. I have been consistently maintaining the same, that current affairs, any current affairs, that is undoubtedly Vision IAS monthly current affairs is widely known. Even if I don't say, almost every person who has qualified, if you will watch his interview or you will go anywhere, you will see all the students from any place preparing for civil services will go through the monthly current affairs of Vision IAS or PT 365 and Mains 65. It is undoubtedly wonderful. At the same time, no value added material can replace the main course. I cannot have dry fruits only as my main course meal. So newspaper is of paramount importance. Why? Because there is no shortcut. Okay. So for example, newspapers are rich in multifaceted ways. Okay. One, you will get an understanding of, first you will develop your writing skill. Second, you will be exposed to vocabulary. Today morning only I said prorogation. Okay, so then I said, what do you mean by provoke? And then I said, what do you mean by provoke? So many students thought provoke is prorogue and what you call provoke. So you have three terms, for example, provoke, and prorogue. I'll give you how newspaper is important. Okay. So I was teaching them prorogue. Article 85 of the Constitution, President can summon and prorogue the Houses of Parliament. So prorogue means termination of a session of Parliament. But there is another term, provoke, to incite someone to do something. And there is another term, pro-vogue. Vogue means something that is in fashion. So pro-vogue means a brand that is famously known pro-fashion. So something that is in fashion, pro-vogue. So when you will read newspaper, so these words you don't need to remember the dictionary. When you will read newspaper for a year or two, you will be so familiar with the same words appearing time and again that will intellectually enrich you, and you will not even know that you have changed. So there is no point sitting down and memorizing the dictionary. If you will read newspaper, one, it will improve your vocabulary. Second, you will follow the news for 1 year. I have been literally reading newspaper. It's like it has become part of my existence. If I don't read newspaper for a day or two, then I may get ill. Okay, so the point is, so for 18 years and more, I'm reading newspaper at least for 17 years, for 15, 16 years. So that has become a part of my existence. So one, it will enrich your vocabulary. Second, it will it will let you understand the topic from a very, very insightful perspective. You will see the chronology of the topic. For example, the elections were announced, elections were conducted, exit polls, then results were announced, government was formed, first session of parliament happened. Getting my point? So you will see the things in chronology that will let you understand things intellectually in a better manner.
The UPSC Personality Test, your final challenge before becoming a civil servant. Are you prepared to face the panel with confidence? At Vision IAS, we ensure you step into your interview fully prepared with our personality development program. Decode Def with expert insights. Mock interviews with ex-bureaucrats. Current affairs sessions for a competitive edge. Elocution training to enhance communication. Learn from UPSC toppers and serving officers. Their real-world experiences will shape your strategy for success. Personalized mentorship and performance feedback ensure you fine-tune every aspect of your preparation. This is your moment to shine. Prepare, practice and perform. Admissions open for UPSC Mains 2024 qualified students. Preparing for UPSC Prelims? Struggling with accuracy, time management and unpredictable question patterns? Introducing the All India General Studies Prelims Test Series with Sandhan, designed to sharpen your exam strategy. Experience real exam-like conditions and gain in-depth performance insights. What makes this test series unique? Personalized test creation, choose topics, difficulty levels and timing. 25,000 plus high-quality questions cover static and dynamic areas effectively. AI-powered performance analytics identify strengths and improve weak areas. One-on-one mentoring, get expert guidance for smarter preparation. All India ranking and comparative analysis, know where you stand nationally. Enhance your preparation, gain confidence, master UPSC Prelims 2025 with Sandhan. Enroll today and take Smartest step towards your UPSC success. Test series start on 9th March. Build confidence and reduce exam anxiety to score well in the optional papers with thorough practice. Regular practice not only helps in developing efficient time management strategy but also enables aspirants to allocate adequate time to different sections and questions, thus enhancing their overall performance. Opt for the All India Optional Test Series 2025 by Vision IAS and secure a high score with features such as mock test based on UPSC exam format, attempt full-length tests in a simulated setup covering all aspects of optional subjects. In-depth assessment and feedback, receive detailed performance insights. Personalized one-to-one mentoring, get dedicated support for performance improvement and time management tailored to meet your specific needs. Flexible test schedule available in both offline and online modes. Schedule tests as per your requirement. Available for subjects: anthropology, geography, Hindi, history, sociology, political science and international relations, philosophy. Test series start on 9th March.
Third important thing, it will develop your writing skill, and of course factual information is there. So there is no alternative to reading newspaper. I will not be venturing into the debate between Indian Express and Hindu. Both are equally rich, depends upon your academic inclination and choice. So undoubtedly this is of paramount importance, dear students. So syllabus, NCERT textbooks and newspaper. Of course, see, the point is, now coming to the important aspect. The kind of questions that were asked by UPSC 5-7 years back, I'm not a very fan of of those questions now. Why? Because literally the kind of questions that were asked till 2017, it were relatively very easy. They have asked questions which were very, very direct. We do not have the time, otherwise I would have given you so many examples that they used to ask. In 2010 they asked, I often say, how many spokes are there in Indian flag? Sometimes they ask a question, who take factual question, which you will get in the books. You just go and see in last 3 years. UPSC has almost done away with the habit of asking factual question. Please understand, they are recruiting those people who will be bestowed with immense power. You will be recruited into Indian Administrative Service and Police Service. If it is all about reading a textbook and going and memorizing the same and writing that in an answer script, then what the class 10 student can't do? He also will be given a textbook and will be given 1 year time. He will memorize everything. What are the features of Indus Valley Civilization? What is the first phase of Indus Valley Civilization? Second phase of Indus Valley Civilization. Then what is the difference between SSC, UPSC and State Public Service Commission? So please understand this. UPSC is not recruiting people who will be lower divisional clerk, upper divisional clerk, section officers. They are recruiting people who will take actual decisions. So they have almost, I will not say they have done away with asking static. Without a shadow of doubt, any dynamic thing will be built on static only. For example, some of you, even if you are not preparing for civil services now, you will be starting to prepare. You know that the governor of late there have been a lot of disputes between the governor and the council of ministers. So you will discuss about the dispute between the governor and council of ministers. First you should know the article 200 of the constitution, that the governor approves the bill. That is article 200 of the constitution, appointment of governor related topics in article 150s and all. And it's, so for example, you see related to president. First you must know article 54 electoral college, 55 method of election, 53 the executive power of the union shall be vested in the president. So the point is Article 74, the President shall act on the aid and advice of Council of Ministers. I am saying current affairs you will be able to understand only if you have the factual information very, very solid. So undoubtedly factual information is necessary, but believe me, In last 3 years, UPSC has clearly exhibited its intent. It is not going to ask questions which are direct in nature, and that is why you see in the history of UPSC, last year cutoff was 76 in prelims. It is unimaginable that out of 200 marks, there are 76 happens to be 38% of the 38% of the marks, and that too when 4 lakh students are appearing, and in general category they took somewhere around maybe 7, 8, 9, 10,000 whatever. Okay, then the cutoff went to 76. What is the reason? They are not asking questions which are direct. They are asking questions which are based on those facts. So both the things should be known. If you are discussing the issues arising out of office of governor, current affairs you should know from newspaper, and fact you should know from the constitution, and then you will frame a question, UPSC will frame a question based on current affairs, as well as the foundation of the pizza would be the facts. So newspaper remains important. Please understand, a lot of questions that they have asked, like judicial custody, police custody, bail and payroll, follow and payroll, these questions are not mentioned in the conventional textbooks. That what is follow, what is bail, Indian Prisons Act, many questions they have asked from the non-conventional books. So one, you have to read newspaper very diligently, and you have to read newspaper. So there are many other sources that are of importance. Jaise we say SC Observer, it's one of the academically rich sites which quite often it's quoted in the academic circles. That is SC Observer, Supreme Court Observer, where you will get all the cases that have come and brief summary of the case. In fact, Supreme Court themselves have started a new initiative. If you will search on Google, over the Google Supreme Court judgments, you will get Supreme Court summaries and year-wise important judgments, and what are the crux, the crisp. Out of 500 page, they will give in 2 page. What was the crisp of that judgment? You can find on internet. So some static sources as well as the dynamic ones, undoubtedly in last few years. Please understand this, that for example, if I am the district collector and there is a fire, unfortunately there is a fire incident, I will not open the book to see, okay, rule 67 to douse fire. You have to take decisions right at the front, right at that point of time. So they do not expect people to be just what you call familiar with the facts. I'll give you one reason. You will never find a candidate who will say that what you call that I studied a different book from AIR 1 to AIR 900. Everyone will say that I have studied from the same sources. You will never find a candidate who says that I was reading a different newspaper. It is the same source that they go through, but how you take that source, that is something which is important. If I'll give a piece of literature to my 200 students in the class, 200 of them would give a different, then I will ask them to explain what have they read from that particular article. They will give absolutely different answers. So it is the same kind of literature that is exposed to all of you, and how you respond to them, that is the ability to understand. It is not about facts. You see, of late UPSC has been maintaining this particular thing, that facts are not so, but the facts are important, but how you apply that fact, that is something which is important. So you must be going through many sources. See, if you, I have been this in the class also, if you see last 2 years, we have completely revised the, what you call the approach, especially after the 2023 paper. From mains point of view, things are more predictable, but in the prelim stage, one has to be very diligent and hardworking. So I would say practicing papers, being in the, what you call, in the fray of the exam throughout, there should be mental. See, this exam is not about talent only, because 2 or 3 things that have to be understood, which I am sure must have been communicated to you by this time. One important thing is that you must be, what you call, having great level of patience, because they are giving, I see so many students in the class, IITians to innumerable in number, medicine graduates are there, chartered accountants are there, architects are there, so many. But many a times I see students from School of Open Learning or correspondence, or also very easily get good ranks. Here, one, they will first test your patience. They will first test your patience. That is the most important thing. Second, you must understand the demand of the examination, because we live in an era of democratization of knowledge and bombardment of information. For everything, you are having ample of sources. Believe me, it is more important to know what not to study rather than what to study, because we are so in what you call encapsulated, or we are so what you call in the attracted towards the fact that we will be tend to deviate from the primary sources. Stick to your sources, stick to the basic newspaper and the conventional sources that have been recommended right throughout the year, having that consistency, having the demand of the examination that you will understand. Sit down, go through previous year's question paper. Do not get too much engrossed into social media. I'll tell you, internet is a brutal double-edged sword. In my phone, I have uninstalled Instagram. I have uninstalled YouTube also. I've installed YouTube also. Why? You know, internet is a wonderful thing. It is unbelievable in contemporary era to live a life without internet. But after teaching, I'm teaching since 2016, after teaching somewhere 80,000 or whatever number of students, I have gauged for a student, internet has to be used in a very prudent and judicious manner. It is one of the sure sought recipes of disaster. So you must know how to use internet, because it also comes with social media and other things and wastage of time. At the same time, it has brutally democratized the knowledge. That's a wonderful thing. So you must know how to use the internet app diligently and in a very practical way. So for example, going through the newspaper, some people love reading on eBase, going through the important sites. There are some sites which I mentioned. For example, SC Observer is something which is there. You can also go through PRS Legislative, search on Google PRS Legislative. For example, Supreme Court judgment summaries. There is a research center for research and planning inside Supreme Court. There you can get. You can also go through the bills at Sansad in Sansad official website. Search. Today morning also I was showing them the bills from the website of Sansad. So other sources, newspaper, NCERT, and one last, that is the previous year's question paper. Okay. No test series can replace the previous year's question paper. The most important thing is previous year's question paper. Once you complete a particular topic, go through the previous year's question paper. It is said in UPSC preparation that it is very simple. It is very simple, but it is very tough to be simple. It is very simple, but it is very tough to be simple. You follow these conventional things, definitely you will sail through. Since you have already been informed about so many things in the morning, so I will not be stretching the session much, but I would definitely like to take any question if you have, without any hesitation. Whatever you wish to ask, please ask. Anything you want to know, be at your ease. Any question you want to ask? Okay. See, being honest, once you are into the preparation, within a time frame of 3 to 4 months, you will develop that academic maturity to understand the newspaper. I'll give you an example. There are many examples, 2, 3. I'll give live examples. When that incident happened in Afghanistan, okay, UPSC has this very, very old habit. It is not that it is unpredictable, a very predictable habit, that when something political happens, they ask a geographical question. For example, there is some issue happening in West Asia, so they will ask Sinai Peninsula. So when that incident happened in Afghanistan, August 3 years back, when there was what you call the all such thing. So I said in the class, and it was not me, anybody can say next year they are going to ask a question on geography. So they asked the question, which all countries share land boundary with Afghanistan? Why? For example, if you are a diplomat posted over there in Afghanistan, you are an Indian diplomat. So your first important thought would be safe evacuation of the Indians. Indians cannot evacuate in troposphere without a flight. So either they will fly or they will go to the nearby or whatever possible. So they if there is a refugee crisis, it will leave people going into the territory of other countries who are in the vicinity. So they asked the question, which all countries share border with Afghanistan? That was the most predictable question. Throughout the year, I have been consistently telling that this year they may ask. There was a flight that lost around 9 years back. There's a flight that drowned MH314 or 814 something in Southeast Asia, which is yet to be founded. Next year, they asked the question, arrange all the capitals of the country from south to north. Okay. Then Sabriwala verdict came. They asked the question, if you travel from Kottayam to Kohima, If you travel from Nagaland, Kohima to Kottayam, how many states you are going to travel through? Minimum number of states that you are. So this, for example, there is a Sabrimala temple near Periyar Tiger Reserve in Pathanamthitta district of Kerala. So they have this habit of having an interdisciplinary approach. Over the period of time, when you develop your academic maturity, when you start, then you will understand that what is the relevance of newspaper. I'll give you from my example. Maybe many years, maybe 15, 16 years back, I used to take time to read the newspaper. Presently, of course, I read. We as teachers also, you read nothing. We read throughout the year. You will qualify and then you will go. You will not be under academic obligation to read. But we have an obligation till the time we are teaching, that every day we have to read. So many students are there and everyone reads something. I have to read everything before, because they will be asking questions. Now the point is, it used to take ample of time to complete newspaper. Now completing newspaper is just a matter of 30-35 minutes with absolute grasp, because now I know which news is important and which is not important. Being honest, in 2 minutes I cannot summarize and communicate this to you. That is an art that has to be communicated over the period of time. But since you have asked, I'll give you something. First, for example, if there is a political crisis in West Asia, UPSC is not interested on what day the crisis begin. These things, UPSC is not interested that UPSC may ask in mains, what is the impact on India? In prelims, they will say, what is the geographical location, what is this of Sinai Peninsula and all those things. So they will ask a geographical question. For example, free trade agreement between India and European Union discussion is going on. So they will ask the question, what basic aspects of free trade agreement and what is the impact, rather than asking that who is the chairman of European Union. For example, there is a thing that there is a crisis in Nepal. Okay, so they will not UPSC generally avoids asking a factual question about the political parties. So 2-3 things you need to understand. One classic example. Unfortunately, for example, some incident happens against women. RJ Kar hospital, something happened which shattered all of us. One of what you call our own sisters, this very, very painful incident happened. So UPSC will not ask you a factual question that which date it happened, which medical college it happened, or if there is a violence, unfortunately, God forbid, in Kashmir or northeastern part of the country or anywhere. They are not concerned with the factual incident. They are concerned with the issue. So if something happens in RJ Kar hospital, they will ask about the legal provisions about the safety of women. They will ask about the prevention of sexual harassment against at workplace act. They will ask about the Vishaka versus state of Rajasthan. They will ask that right to dignity is a part of right to life as ruled by Supreme Court in Kiran Bedi case. They will ask about the provisions related to women, Article 15 Clause 3, that nothing in this article shall prevent the state from making any special provision for women and children. So if an incident has happened, unfortunately, UPSC is not interested in asking the factual aspect of that incident, but the issue is important. If there is an, God forbid, incident in Northeast or Jammu and Kashmir, they will not be asking about that incident, but they will be asking about the issue of violence in internal security. So always remember, UPSC is not concerned with facts of that particular incident which is asked by SSC or state PSC. UPSC is more concerned with the issues that arise from that. For example, there is a rise in onion prices, or there is a particular share fell drastically by 50%. UPSC is not interested in asking that share. UPSC, what is the impact of Fed tapering, that is by the American Central Bank, Federal Reserve, on the stock markets and equities in India? You must delineate, dissect between a particular incident and issue. Women issue is important, internal security issue is important. That particular incident may be quoted as an example, but this is not what the UPSC expects you to know. If there is a sudden rise in the inflation in the onion, so UPSC is more interested in you knowing what is the concept behind inflation, what is demand pull inflation, cost push inflation, what is the impact of Federal Reserve, Fed tapering on Indian stock markets. So they are more interested in you knowing the issues. What I will say, when you will have that academic maturity, then you will very clearly carve out that this particular incident is merely a piece of news which is not important, but the issue arising out of it is important from the GS perspective. This is what I can say. Any other question you have? So we can, we have a session we have 40-45 minutes we had. Okay. So since you don't have a question, so I've tried to incorporate whatever I can in a short span of time. Okay. Thank you. God bless you.